Hey, Claudio. Good morning. Good morning. Still is pre-snap. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Luther Dupree, of course, here, joined by the Hall of Famer Claudio Rosano. Hopefully, Smokin Jim will be calling us pretty soon. How you doing, Claudio?
Good, Luth. How are you doing? And happy birthday to your daughter, Nia.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. My pockets are kind of thin after this weekend, trying to spoil her, but you know, I'll tell her you said that. Hey, Claudio, man, I'm excited, man. It should be a great year. Steelers 1-0. I did select that. Of course, I predicted the victory. I think you did as well. And we'll see what happens this week. Again, send your comments so we can read them out. I think my voice is almost back from the Atlanta game. Still got a little bit to go, but definitely had a great time out there, Claudio. Hey, Claudio, real quick, um, we want to get started with our Claudio's huddle up. What do you have for us today, Claudio?
First of all, Steel City Sports World and Steeler Pre-Snap. Luther Dupree's working hard to do some things to elevate our status, to elevate our platform. And those shows are like nothing out there. The content, the way we deliver it, the decibel level, everything. It has some energy. Again, like I say about the Boxing's Best TV show that we do, Luther, Jim, and myself, the Boxing Authorities, I open it up with saying it's always informative and always entertaining, and that's what these shows are. Number two, if you don't mind, Luther, do a quick plug. Ralph Williams is going to be starting a new show on 12:50 a.m. The Answer called Sports Corner. 12:50 a.m. The Answer is a big network here in Pittsburgh, an AM network. With Luther's going to be our first guest. Smokin Jim Frazier and myself will be talking about local sports, and we'll touch on some national. Again, different delivery, good content, entertaining. So make sure you tune in. Our first show is October 5th, from Saturday, October 5th, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Finally, I'm asking our fans to do some homework. In a day and age of, if you think about the NFL today, Luther and our fans, you think about the quarterback, Prescott, and all the quarterbacks, right? I'm drawing a blank here, but you think about these big time quarterbacks. Okay, go back to the 70s, the era of the running back, OJ, Franco, Larry Brown. Forget about the Hall of Famers, Larry Brown, Lawrence McCutcheon, guys who were big time, 1,000 yards, Otis Armstrong, every year, 1,000 yards, right? But do me a favor, do some homework. Go look at Inside the NFL on YouTube of the 70s. I don't care what year you go to or what episode, and watch the deep passes that you see. And I'm not talking about 10 yards, 12 yards. I'm talking about 30 plus, okay? And not just to the wide receivers, okay? 15, 10, 15, 20 to the tight ends, 10, 15 to the backs, and to the receivers like Harold Jackson, Carmichael, Branch, okay? All those guys who were big time. Bolitnikoff, those guys. Kenny Burrow, I can go on and on. Isaac Curtis from Cincinnati, Lynn Swann, John Stallworth. Go look at their numbers. Go look at the pass attempt per yard. That's all I'm asking you to do. Look at the 70s Inside the NFL, okay, on YouTube, and watch the highlights and compare that to today. All right, Luth.
All right, Claudio, definitely agree with that, man. We got a couple comments already. We got Frank Jackson. Good morning. And we got Terry Fritz. Amen for pre-snap. All
Terry.
right. Thanks, Terry, for coming in, man. Again, make sure you keep those comments coming. We got some great stuff for you. We don't have Smokin Jim's first to 10, so we won't have to put a disclaimer out there. Hey, but I want to talk about my prophetic thoughts. Listen, man, we all saw Shannon Sharp's little snafu this weekend. He accidentally went live accidentally on purpose, I think, to dispel the rumors. And we saw, just because you're in shape doesn't mean you have a lot of stamina. This man was huffing and puffing a minute and crashed out into it, Claudio. But I've tried to go live on Instagram, and it takes more. It's not a butt call. You have to hit about 4 buttons to go on call. So, Shannon Sharp, man, come on. He does everything he can to go viral. He started the year off with Cat Williams. He's in the middle of the year going viral with Instagram. X-rated video with nothing but sounds, and now he got every woman named Michelle said it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Chad is definitely a character, man. Also, we got to talk about Tua Viola. Listen, man, life is more important than football. Very interesting play happened Thursday night. He's running, and of course, he runs into Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin had a cardiac arrest over a year ago. Tua hits him. Tua goes unconscious. Once again, his fingers, his arms locked up. Somebody has to stop this man from getting out there. I mean, it wasn't a hard hit. He hit his head into Damar Hamlin's chest, and he went out. You know, I think it's time for the medical staff to do their job and prevent this man from going out there. You know, every game you watch, you never know when this man is going to go out. Once your head starts going, your fingers starts, close it up every time. It's time to let it go. He's made a lot of money. He's a millionaire. No need to risk your health. He's a very young man. No need to keep going out there. And whoever keeps clearing this, they need to lose their license. I'm tired of seeing it. Very disheartening. Every time you watch the game, a hard hit, he hits his head on the ground. You don't know whether he's going to get up again. Football is a dangerous game anyway. This man has gotten away with it over the last 3 years. He's had to get carted off, walked off. Not the hardest hits. His head hits the ground. He's out. Doctors, do your job and prevent this man from going out. And Tua has to take better care of it. Let's jump back into the comments. We got Terry wrote a novel here. They're going to make the decision for Tua. He's going to make the decision on whether or not he comes back, and he will likely come back maybe with a different helmet. I don't care if he comes back with the big Dawn BB helmet or whatever. The man can't take a hit. He got to let it go. It's over for him. Go Balls, kick 10 field goals. Come on, Lee. Listen, I was at that game. Boss is the man. The guy gets knocked out. Kicker gets knocked out of the game. Boswell goes in and punts a 50-yarder. He's the real deal, man. We got the greatest kickers in the AFC North, and Boswell's right up there with Tucker and everybody else up in the division. All right, let's get started, Claudio. Again, keep the comments coming. Let's start off with the Steelers offense versus the Broncos. Claudia, who do you have and why? Who has the advantage?
Tua should retire. They should not. He's a warrior. He wants to play. All athletes think they have another play left, another punch, another throw left. They have to just say, you're not playing, that's it. He's, I think, good enough to go on TV, and people will knock the doors down to have him on TV as an analyst. I think so. He'll make a nice chunk of change doing that. When you see those fingers like that, and like you said, he can't keep doing it. And right. I think it's time to go. Now, Steelers offense. I said on Steel City Sports World last time it should be called the Pittsburgh Boswells, and that's exactly what it was last week. You tell me all last year, Matt Canada got the hit. If you didn't know Matt Canada got fired, you think he was still coaching the offense the last week, okay? And it's ridiculous. And also, Fields was 17 for 23 for 156 yards, 9.1 per completion, which isn't bad yards-wise in today's game. But what they have to do is, again, go deep. Okay, I keep saying the same damn thing. Like in Florida, when you look at their weather, 92, 93, 94, 91, that's what it is. I keep sounding like the weatherman in Florida. Open it up. This way, the ground game gets opened up. Okay, I mentioned at the Claudio's huddle, when you open it up deep, the middle and the the inside opens up. The backs have more room. Then you got a guy like Justin Fields who can run. Imagine the cornerbacks and the D-backs, all the D-backs and the linebackers backing up. Justin Fields will take off. He'll average 10 plus a carry. Then you have Najee Harris who runs angry. He'll go for 5 a pop, easy. Okay, but last week, again, what did they do? And then Miller said, what does Tomlin always say? We don't live in our fears. But then Miller said, we didn't want to throw down the middle because they were kind of afraid. You have the weapons. If you didn't have the weapons, I understand. Okay. If a baseball coach likes to steal, let's say, or play small ball. but he doesn't have the tools. Okay, I get it. When you have Pickens and you have all these, you have good weapons to use, and Najee Harris and Justin Fields, use them. But it was the same old thing. Now, Steelers offense against the Denver defense. I think that again, if they open it up, they will allow the backs, Najee Harris, who's big time, and Justin Fields to run, open it up. And you have all these weapons, use them. This way, you don't have the defense pinning their ears back and only concentrating on one player. Spread the wealth. This way, they don't know what you're going to do. And I would add a trick player too.
Okay. Now, let's jump back in here. Steelers going to get that run game going tonight. Okay. Terry, I think it'll be a big day for Pat Freiermuth and Pickens. Put touchdowns up and win the time of possession. Listen, I think obviously, to quote Tomlin, the Steelers have an advantage offensively over Denver. They gave up 26 points against Seattle last week. Kenneth Walker, 3 had over 100 yards and a touchdown on 20 carries. I think Najee gets it going against the Broncos this week. We're going to rely on the run game. He'll be able to, pace us. And also, I think interesting matchup, Pickens versus Patrick Surtain will be a great matchup. Their number one corner against our number one receiver. But I think the running game is going to, carry us. You talk about last week. I agree with the game plan. Atlanta has 2 good safeties who are ball hawks. If they throw in the middle of the field, that's where Fields has had some problems before. Those guys can pick it off. I like the game plan. It was a safe game plan. Run it, have Fields running out. And I think most of the game plan was built around Russell Wilson. They didn't change it. I think we'll see some more things designed to emphasize Justin Fields' skills this game against Denver. So, yeah, I definitely give the advantage to the Steelers. Run game, I think Najee will get 100 yards at a touchdown. They're kind of careful with the hamstring injury with Jaylen Warren, but I think Patterson will also get it going a little more this game as well. But we're going to rely on that run game. I give the defense. They gave up 26 points. Heck, they had Geno Smith run for 34-yard touchdown against them. I think Fields can also have a nice game running the ball against Denver. So definitely give them the advantage. Jump back in here to the comments. Is R. Wilson third string? He might just be. I'm not sure. But we know one thing: whether he's third string or emergency quarterback, he's going to have his uniform on for sure. Terry, Denver doesn't have very many weapons during a rebuild year, plus carrying the load for Russell Wilson on their cap. Yeah, carrying a $34 million hit. Hey, let's jump into the defense. Oh, you would say something, Claudia?
Ask our audience something real quick, Frank and Terry. Would you guys use Darnell Washington more? So I'm going to ask, would you guys use Washington more? Benny Cunningham was a very underrated tight end, but he went deep. Okay, great athlete. Washington is an athlete. He can run. He's a big man, good hands. I just want to know if I'm the only one who thinks they could utilize his abilities more. Steeler defense against the Denver O. Bo Nix, 26 for 42, 136 yards, 2 picks, 3 yards a completion. Ridiculous. That screams middle linebackers getting some turnovers, middle linebackers getting a lot of action. They didn't use their backs very well. I think 27 yards for their one back. Nix was the leading rusher, I believe, with 35 yards. They have one good wide receiver in Sutton. He didn't have a lot of yards either. I just don't think it's a good offense. And when you're a so-called offensive genius, like Sean Payton is supposed to be, you should come up with something. Okay. And I always liken it. I always use analogies, right? I'm Italian. That's what we do. If I'm fighting Mike Tyson, Hulk Hogan, okay, or Lennox Lewis, I'm not going to fight them straight up. I'm going to grab a stick. I'm going to get some dirt. I'm going to grab a can. I'm going to do something to beat them, because otherwise I can't beat them straight up. Denver is nowhere near offense going to beat the Steeler offense or defense. I'm sorry. Do something crazy. Open it up. Okay, Bo Nix was a rookie. I get it. And their offensive line is a great, but you got to do something. And I think TJ Watt, this is a crazy comment, is going to have even a bigger game. He likes to rush on the right side. And the right tackle, Mike McGinley, I believe his name is, for Denver, had 5 pressures last week. He's not that great. Watt's going to eat him up. Okay. I don't think Denver is going to get many points at all today. Steelers defense is good, especially this time of year. Down the road, let's see how Cam does and all that. This time of year, Steelers defense is big time. Denver offense is nothing unless they do something crazy, pick up a stick, a can dirt, but they won't. I think the Steelers defense will be and then again, Joey Porter Jr. had a great game. Jackson had a great game. I don't see Denver doing much at all.
Yeah, I definitely give the Steelers an advantage over the offense. We have a rookie quarterback, Bo Nix. He's older than most rookie quarterbacks. He's one of the oldest rookie quarterbacks in the league at 26, 27 years old, and he looked like it last week. Did have a couple runs, but I'm not impressed with their offense. You know, they have a running back, Javonte Williams, not impressed. Cortland Sutton, I was hoping the Steelers get him as a backup, but they have him as a number 1 receiver. He doesn't put fear in anybody. So I think we'll be able to get after him. I'm looking for Highsmith to have a good game. We know Watt is going to do what he does. They stole 2 sacks and 2 strip sacks from him last week. He'll make up for it again. He ended the game with a sack and a bow as usual. Just amazing to watch. But I want to see a better game from Patrick Queen. He was in position to make some big plays and didn't make it. But he did close down the middle of the field, so the tight ends weren't running wide open. So that was good. But I'd like to see him finish some of those tackles. As far as Washington, he's a glorified offensive lineman, man. I don't see him catching many passes. He does have the athleticism, but he doesn't have the greatest quickness. I would like to see him use him more in the red zone. Get him matched up against a slow linebacker and throw it up to him. I would like to see that, or even, if they put a safety on him, he can box him out and throw it up. It's an easy touchdown, play jump ball with him. All right. Terry, I think we read that already. Lee R. Wilson, the clipboard quarterback.
Lee, what's happening, Lee?
Terry said, yes, use Washington. Not sure if it's that they don't feel he's ready or what. Washington didn't catch passes and won't catch passes in the NFL. He's a glorified lineman. That's what I said as well. Blitz Bo Nix. All right, I feel you. Darnell's an average tight end as a receiver. Bo Nix, a.k.a. Chris Winkie. Wow. That's a name from the past, Lee. And we've seen this before. Rookie quarterback walks in and spanks the Steelers. C.J. Stroud. Oh, come on, man. That doesn't happen very much. Come on, you can't compare Bo Nix to C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud looks like he's going to be one of the future GOATs in the NFL, the way he's looking. I can't say that about Bo Nix. Come on, man. No, Bo Nix, I think, was a reach for Denver to grab him. They took a lot of first-round quarterbacks in this year's draft, and I don't think but maybe 1 or 2 of them will be any good. The rest of them were backups. But
Sean Payton, overrated.
Very overrated. That's the next thing I was going to go. Coaching advantage. Claudia, who do you give the coaching advantage to and why? We got Sean Payton against Mike Tomlin, both Hall of Famers. What's that?
I don't think Sean Payton's a Hall of Famer at all. I mean, he won a Super Bowl, but there was a guy years ago, I think his name was McCauley. He was the head coach of the Baltimore Colts, Ed McCauley, when they won 1970 Super Bowl. You don't hear anything about him. Chuck Knox didn't win a Super Bowl. When he retired, he was number, I think, 5 all-time in coaching wins. He's not in the Hall of Fame, but Sean Payton's going to get in the Hall of Fame? Ridiculous. I'm in football especially, I don't just say the head coach, coaching advantage. Which one? I'm not impressed with either staff. So this is, again, another analogy. If Luther and I go play golf and neither one of us are any good, one of us has to win. So I'm going to say the Steeler coaching will have the coaching advantage. but that's not saying much, to be honest with you. But I would say the Steelers have the coaching advantage. Sean Payton, not just X's and O's, and I don't know what happened between him and Russell Wilson, but I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan.
All right. Listen, let's see. Steelers special teams coach has the advantage. Hey, when you got a weapon like Boswell, you always got an advantage. Linebacker Herman may have to get more snaps. Hey, I like that. We got to find a way to get Herbig on the field, man. Him and Watt together, we could be looking at Highsmith getting traded if he doesn't start producing a little more, because Herbig looks like he's going to be the real deal, and he's cheaper. He's still on his rookie deal. Steelers need another wide receiver to step up. Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that. Roman Wilson, maybe they think he can do something special, but Van Jefferson, not impressed. Calvin Austin, not impressed. They did pick up a receiver on a practice squad from an HBCU who had about 6'5", has some hands. We'll see what happens. But I still would like them to go out, maybe give a flyer on like a Michael Thomas type. They got to do something, because I was at the game. Those guys aren't getting separation. Teams are just going to start taking away George Pickens, and then what are we going to have?
I was going to ask you, you had the bird's eye view, okay. Was there, I guess there wasn't separation?
I didn't see much separation from the number two. Pickens, yes. I mean, he's fast, he's long. On that deep one right before the half line, I mean, he had the corner way on the other side. You can just see the difference. Van Jefferson has a lot of speed, but you never know if he's going to catch the ball or not. But as far as coaching advantage, I definitely give it to Mike Tomlin. Sean Payton, you may not say he's Hall of Fame. We know one thing: his agent is Hall of Fame, because he's made a lot of money and he's folded a lot in the big games with the Saints, and now he's with the Broncos. Didn't like the way he disrespected a Hall of Fame quarterback, Russell Wilson, last year. I kind of wanted Russell Wilson to get his get back against Sean Payton this year. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Wilson's body's giving up on him. But I like what Justin Fields is doing. He didn't turn the ball over. Of course, he did have the one fumbled snap. It seems like that's just going to happen with him sometimes. But he was safe with the ball. He used his legs, and he made the throws when he had to. I'd just like for them to just take the handcuffs off him a little more, a couple more, at least a couple times a game. You got to go deep to George Pickens. That was a horrendous call. The pass interference when he caught a 40-yarder, that was clean. It didn't happen. All right, I think we got this. Roman Wilson, a.k.a. Andre Hastings. Jeez. Lee just throwing all kind of names from the bench. We'll see. I think Roman Wilson, he's a playmaker, man. We just got to get him on the field, man. I think he'll be solid once he gets going. Hey, appreciate all the comments jumping in here. So let's go to the game prediction, and we'll go sit or start. Claudia, right now I'm looking at a lot of pundits that saying Steelers are favored 2.5. What is your prediction on this game?
Oh, I think it'll be more than 2.5. I think it's going to be Steelers will not open it up. I'm gonna beat it. Darnell Washington would get separation. He'd run people over. They talk about yards after catch. He's the perfect guy. If you're not going to throw deep, get him the ball 7 yards. He'll run people over, but it's not going to happen. I'm going to predict a couple of things. Steelers 19, Denver 10. I should say Boswell, like I said on Steel City. Boswell, I think I said 23, Atlanta something. I forgot what I said. But Boswell's going to be the offense again. I say 19-10 Pittsburgh, but I'm also going to say the two leading rushers for Pittsburgh and Denver will be the quarterbacks. Justin Fields and Bo Nix will lead their teams in rushing.
Yeah, I got a prediction. I think it's going to be 23-10. I think Najee Harris will have at least 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. I don't think Denver has a defense to stop him. He's going to get busy. Offensive line, that's one thing we got to talk about. It looks like Troy Fuatanu's getting back. He's going to start at right tackle. Broderick Jones is getting moved to the bench. Very surprised at that. I thought Broderick Jones played well last week, and now they're putting a rookie out there. I know he's dealing with a little injury, but he got the job done. I was kind of disappointed that he's going to be on the bench. He was a high pick last year, and now he's moved to the bench the second game of his second year. Very disappointed. Ball's kicked 4 field goals, and Harris scores a TD. Steelers win. All right, Lee. Oh, we got Eric. What's up, Eric? Another low-scoring game like I predicted last week, 16-13. All right. The reason I think they can get more is because I saw Denver's defense. Geno Smith had a field day with them. He was running. He was passing. Kenneth Walker was running on him. And I think Fields is a much better runner than Geno Smith. And I think Najee Harris is a better running back than Kenneth Walker 3 at this point. So I think both of those guys will have a little more. So I'm going with 23-10. Steelers win. I think Bo Nix is going to be running for his life behind after T.J. Watt and Highsmith. And also Herbig is going to get some more snaps, as Sean said earlier. 23-10. Anybody else have any predictions? Make sure you put them out there. And as we wrap up, sit or start. Let's go through this real quick. Justin Fields, sit or start, Claudio.
So he's going to be the leading rusher for the Steelers, and he'll throw for maybe 150 some odd yards, rush for maybe 50, 60 yards, and he'll get a score. I say start him.
I'm going to say sit. I think he will have some rushing yards, but I think they're going to be safe with him. Don't want him to make the big turnover. So I think it's going to be, he'll have about 140 yards passing, maybe about another 50 yards rushing. But I would sit him. I think there's better options out there. All right. How about how about Moo? Are we going to get him going? I think we can get him going, but I don't think he'll have a big game. I think he can have about 5 catches, maybe 30 yards or so. But I would sit Pat. How about you, Claudio?
You know what I'm going to say? Sit him and start Mount Washington. He's perfect for a guy like Justin Fields, who they're not going to go deep with. Who's going to get more yards after catch, Freiermuth or Darnell Washington? I don't understand why everybody's down on him. Give him a shot. Give him a shot.
Man, Washington, big as he is, he never runs it. Now he will pancake you in the blocking game, but running wise, we haven't seen him run over too many people on the 3 catches he did have.
Give him a shot. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. Why did you draft him? Give him a shot.
I got you. Terry, 21-9, Pittsburgh. Okay. Lee, bring out the zone blitz on Bo Nix. The zone blitz. Wow. All right. Sit, Sierra. Lee's great. Fields to start. Fields start. Too many good options against you. All right. I don't think we'll ever see Russell quarterback a Steelers game. You speaking upon that, Miami has a quarterback issue. Tua's down. Their backup is not very good. Do they come sniffing around for a Russell Wilson? And if so, the Steelers, would you put them on the market for Miami if they want to give you a pick? Claudio?
Let me ask you something. That's a good question. Their offense is the Miami offense more suited for Russell Wilson or for Justin Fields?
I would say Russell Wilson because they have those receivers. Russell Wilson was always known for throwing a deep ball. I would say Russell Wilson. Justin Fields has a big arm, but he doesn't sit in that pocket. I would say, depending on what Wilson has left, I would say Wilson would be a good fit for the system.
I think, especially since there's a good shot Tua might be done, I don't know. I think Justin Fields might, because I think that offense is much more creative, and Russell Wilson's only going to do so much. Where Fields, he has more ability, more tools, more of a Swiss Army knife, as they say. I don't know. Maybe Fields might be more of for the Dolphins, and maybe they can get him for less of it. And he can.
I don't think the Steelers would make him available right now. They got one victory, and Russell's been hurt pretty much all preseason. He's only thrown a few passes, so we'll see. Brady to Dolphins. Oh my goodness, that was a rumor I heard as well that Tom Brady was looking at coming. Well, we know he stinks at being a commentator. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he's a trash commentator. Well, he's new, but he didn't show too much. Let's see, Terry. No, We still need a backup for Fields. All right. And Lee, Miami signed Kaepernick or Pickett. Lee, yeah, okay. Kaepernick or Pickett. Pickett's third string. He'd love to get that opportunity, but he couldn't throw the ball deep enough for Tyreek Hill and Waddle. You know, they'd be 30 yards down the field. He'd throw it 20 yards, and they'd be complaining. You know, they'd be trying to rough up Kenny Pickett after all those missed passes. All right, let's go back to our sitter start. All right, so we talked about Najee Harris, Jalen Warren. We don't know about him. He's probably not going to play. But how about Najee Harris, Claudia? You sit or start him?
Always play Najee. Always. He's, in my opinion, one of the top when used properly, and he could be used even better. I'd say top 3 backs in the game. I like him a lot.
I do too. Got to play him. I think he has a big game, 100 yards, at least 1 touchdown, maybe 2. He's a play. I'm playing him. I have him on one of my teams. I'm definitely playing him today. Look for him to have a big game. George Pickens. I say play him. I think he's him and that Patrick Surtain. That is one of the best matchups between wide receiver and cornerbacks. I think he can get a couple passes off. I think he will get some one-on-one coverage at times. And I think so. You got to throw it up to Pickens. He loves those one-on-one matchups with top cornerbacks, and he usually excels. So I say yes, you got to play him. I think Fields is going to force it into him a couple times, and I think he can get off against Patrick Surtain. Not too much, but I do think he can get a touchdown and have some yards. But it'll be a great matchup. Claudio?
I don't think they'll use Pickens properly in the game. And he's going up against a good defensive back. I say sit him. I don't think he's going to have more than 5 catches, maybe 60 yards, something like that. I would sit him.
Okay. All right, let's go to the other side. Javonte Williams, the running back for Denver. Sit or start him?
Sit him. He's not going to – again, Bo Nix is going to lead the team in rushing.
Okay, yeah, I say sit him too. I don't think he'll have a great game. How about their offensive weapons? Cortland Sutton, that's their top receiver. Do you sit or start him? What do you think? He's going to be matched up against Joey Porter and Jackson. Jackson showed me something. Elliott showed me something. I like the additions they've done with their secondary. I was very impressed.
Would have loved to see him in Pittsburgh. I think he'd have been a big-time addition, like you said, Luth. But for Denver, who's going to get him the ball? Nix is going to be rushed. I say definitely sit Sutton.
Okay. Yeah, I say sit him as well. And how about Bo Nix? You see him having a good game? Quarterback for Denver.
Team in rushing. He's going to rush some passes. I think he's going to have a couple turnovers. I don't see the Denver. I think he's going to have one of those games where the team's behind and he may accumulate some numbers. Okay. But that doesn't mean they're going to win. He may have something like 200 and some passing yards, about 60. He might be worth 260 yards today in a loss. You know what? I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to take a chance and start him.
Okay. Hey, listen, we went through that. One question I had, Claudia, you being a coach, you ever kiss one of your players? You know, when Tua went off the field, you saw Mike McDaniel give him a big kiss on his forehead. Claudia, do we get a picture of you kissing one of your players, Claudia?
Haven't done that. You won't see me doing a Shannon Sharp or this either. I'll give him a hug. That's for sure.
I can see Smokin Jim doing a Shannon Sharp. You know, if you look at his Facebook, I can see there. If you figure out how to use the material, I can see him doing a Shannon Sharp out there. But no, I could never see you doing this, man. But we know one thing: Brian Flores never kissed Tua before he was coaching him. You know, he was just doing the opposite, as Tua said before the season. He broke down a lot of his confidence. But Mike McDaniel raised it. Now he's even giving him kisses after the game. That was different. I didn't expect that, Claudio.
Well, hey, people do what they do. You know, if it came from the heart up, as I say, then good for him.
Or the lips, or it came from his lips to Tua's forehead. That might have gave him more concussion, man. You got to stay away from his whole head. But hey, I'm excited. I wish I was in Denver, man. Yes, listen, Pittsburgh took over Atlanta all over the place. It was nothing but towels waving in the stadium, but just a beautiful stadium, man. Mercedes-Benz, that's a real stadium. They have a nice where you can see the guys. Go ahead.
Rams or Dallas?
Pardon me?
You've been just about all those places. Is it better than Rams or Dallas?
The Rams is probably still number one. The SoFi Stadium is the best stadium I've ever been to. I still haven't gone to Jerry's World in Dallas. Vegas Stadium is very nice as well, but I think SoFi is my top so far. SoFi, then Mercedes-Benz, then Vegas. I got to see Dallas, but I don't think they have all the amenities that Mercedes-Benz or SoFi had. Those were outstanding. The section I was in, outstanding. So if you get a chance, definitely go to one of those stadiums. It's an amazing experience. But hey, that's our show. I want to thank all the comments, man. We had Terry. Terry was on us early, like, when's Steelers pre-snap coming back? We appreciate that. And definitely love all the support. Jason Thomas, Bo Nix gets exposed tonight. All right. Lee was in here. Eric, Frank Jackson was also in there. Sean Tompkins, another great friend of the show, does a lot of things with us. So I appreciate everybody. Keep the comments coming. Hopefully Jim is not making any Instagram videos and he could be back with us next week. That being said, y'all enjoy the game. We thank you guys for coming. And we got one more comment in here. Great show, guys. Love it. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate you coming in. Keep coming in next week. That being said, enjoy the game, and we'll check you out next time. Peace.